Hey, welcome everybody to the Max Show. This is where we expose the badass secrets of entrepreneurs all over the world. And do we have a special guest today, Miss Caroline Fitzgerald. Caroline has developed this very cool lead system for realtors called Lead Beach. And you got to check this out, man. It's amazing. Leadbeach.com. I've gone through all the information, gone through the website. I'm really looking forward to interviewing Caroline. She's a dynamic young entrepreneur, has started this way to systematize leads in your system. I mean, how cool is that? And a lot of it has to do with following up with leads, which all of us realtors know we're not the best at doing, right? So I can't wait to get into this interview with Caroline. So before we do, though, make sure you get your happy butt to massiveabundance.co. Get yourself signed in, get all kinds of free goodies, and let's get on with the show.
Opportunity to get a lead if they respond within 30 seconds or whatever. And then what it does is it provides a compelling offer, valuable content for the prospect, which is what draws the prospect in. And then there's an automated follow-up series that again, keeps giving them valuable content that's going to help the client, help the prospect in their real estate transaction. So it's a win-win. So the agent has a great way of generating leads, and the prospect gets great information, and therefore the agent comes across like a wonderfully likable, trusted expert because they're providing all of this great information, because the entire system comes from the agent, even though it's automatically generated.
Right.
So you know, if you sign up, then you get an email every day or every couple of days. It's set up on a different sequence, and it appears that it's coming directly from the agent who just sat down and wrote you an email. And so that's basically what it is. It's a way to help agents, you know, improve their businesses, create more success in their business, and simplify their businesses so they have more free time to do other parts of their business or enjoy the free time. I mean, let's face it, most entrepreneurs get into business because they want two things: more money and more flexibility.
Right.
And an awful lot of real estate agents have neither. They're working their tails off 24/7. Their time is not their own, and this is just a way to help that. So they have the success, have the prospects coming in, but the entire follow-up system is automated. So
automated. That's great. It's like you mentioned on the website. I love your website, by the way, Caroline.
Thank you.
It's like a lead drip system. So once a prospect comes in, basically your system, and I love that word systematized. I think I saw on your website. We all need that as real estate brokers and agents, but it's a way that they're dripping on the client, thinking, and the client thinks that it's you as a real estate agent that is actually sending them all this information.
Right. Right. And it starts off, just to tell you what the two, there's a Lead Beach strategic agent, strategic listing agent, and I can't say that word, strategic buyer's agent. Those are the two different systems, depending on what the agent is interested in. And the listing agent, the initial offer, what they put on their website says insider secrets, sell faster and for more money.
Wow.
Well, every single seller wants to know how to sell faster and for more money. So if you have that offer, that information, the insider secrets on how to do that, right there on your website, of course they're going to give you their name and email address, and that sets off in the listing agent system. It actually sets off a really cool 7-day email video system, video drip. Each email comes right to each video, obviously all comes right to their email box, but each video is just 5 minutes long, so it's super quick. It comes right to their email box. They don't have to think about it. It's not like a DVD that says, here, how to stage your house. It's just really bite-sized snippets that are fun to watch and really give them the information they need. And then on the buyer side, the initial offer, and I'm actually going to be expanding on these, but the initial offer is the top 3 secrets to buying your dream home. Again, information buyers want, so they'll give you their first name and email address or full name and email address to get that information. And that's a full report, 3 report, and then both systems then switch to just email content, and it's valuable stuff. It's not. I mean, there's so many agents that send out recipes or buy a service that sends out recipes.
Right.
Quite frankly, people don't need recipes from their realtor. That's what Pinterest is for, and that's what cookbooks are for.
Right.
But anyway, so this my firm belief is they come to you for real estate, so give them real estate. That's what they want to know. And a lot of the content, this is where my experience as a buyer and seller, represented and not represented, comes in, because it's stuff that I either learned the hard way or or wish I'd known sooner. And obviously it's not just about me. It's a lot of research has gone into what the content is. But I've really, all the things that surprised me on the buyer side or the seller side that I wish somebody had told me, that's all in there. And that's, to me, really valuable stuff, because it's hard for an agent to go over everything with every single person. And what better way to attract prospects by giving them the education you want them to have anyway. Right. And it's done automatically, so you haven't actually had to do it. And in the case of the seller series, the listing series, all the videos on how to prep your house to sell faster for more money. Again, let's face it, that's something a lot of agents don't like to talk about, whether it's the house smells or the wallpaper's frightening, or whatever. Right.
Well, I'll tell you, this is why I'm going to be using it, Caroline, because real estate agents and real estate brokers, they just don't do follow-up. I think that a lot of us really just don't like doing the follow-up, and this is like an automatic follow-up system, which
absolutely. I have it on my website, on the website of, trying to remember, 80% of all sales are made on, and this is a McGraw-Hill study across the board in sales. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact, and I think less than 10% of salespeople, whether they be real estate agents or other types of sales, fewer than 10% actually follow up 3 times or more. And 80% of sales are made on this 5th to 12th contact. So that's what this is all about. Right. Being consistent with your follow-up is huge. I mean, quite frankly, it's the bulk of your success is your ability to follow up.
Absolutely. And I'd love to, as you know, Caroline, that there are a lot of real estate agents and brokers watching this right now. And how many times are you following up with your clients? That's what I'd love to know. Tell me down below. Caroline's going to make it all really easy for you. But let me ask you this. This is the $1 million question, and that is, how do the leads get into the system?
The job of the real estate agent becomes market your website. Got it. So that's the key. Once they get to your website, the lead beach system lures them in, because it's right there. I mean, we recommend put the opt-in form above the fold, because 80% of web users never bother to scroll down below the fold. So get it up there front and center where it's obvious. It's a compelling offer. So all they do is enter their name and email address and hit send the secrets now or submit or whatever that particular form says. And then it's a double opt-in system. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. But you may want to explain for everybody else.
Yeah, a double opt-in means that they opt in and then they immediately get an email that says, basically, did you mean to do that? So what it does is it eliminates any spam issues. But whereas if there's some, I won't name them, but there's some services that you just put in somebody's email and you start emailing them. This is something that they're required to say, yes, I want in, and yes, I really did mean that. So that's a great system. But one thing that I just came up with in my thought a minute ago, along those lines, talking about when they hit submit, each form we customize each form for each agent. So whether it's making the colors complementary to the colors that are on your site, the style of the form will be something that will look good on the particular site. So that, I think, is a nice feature as well.
That's huge. That's great. That is great. What was the genesis of all this, Caroline? Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got involved with this.
Well, basically, 2 things. One, my passion for real estate and my experience with real estate buying and selling. But the first time I realized, or when I finally realized that I was an entrepreneur at heart, I started a fitness business. I ran an outdoor fitness boot camp on the coast of Maine. And we were year-round outdoors, and pretty proud of it. And I won't scare you with the temperatures that we were actually out in, but it became quite a movement in town and a big deal to show up to boot camp when it was something below 0.
Oh my God!
But anyway, as part of that, I in increasing my fitness training, I began to be exposed to the online world of how to take a business online, and so after I sold the fitness business, which is still running, by the way, which I'm proud of. I took it online. So my product was actually four boot camp instructors, teaching them how to do what they needed to do to be successful in business. And that really, I guess, to take a step further back, really where all this comes from is I'm a coach at heart.
Yeah.
Track was my big thing in school, and then I coached after college, during college and after college, and still sort of dabble in it some. And so I love helping people be better at what they already do. And so anyway, so the fitness thing I got online, and then I started house hunting again, and really got knee deep in the real estate thing, and was talking to a real estate agent friend of mine who actually did I had him help me with the videos, and he's a 25-year veteran of the industry, and we just started. I said, I've got this idea, and here's what here's what it is. What do you think? And we talked it over and developed it, and then initially got the videos shot for the listing side, and then I really just jumped in and started being part of Active Rain and seeing what people needed, seeing what real estate agents were struggling with, and obviously lead generation is huge for real estate agents. But as we've already talked about, so is follow-up, and so is being consistent. And again, as I said, I wanted to help clients as well, because I knew from my own experiences what types of things I hadn't been told, but also what things I learned along the line that I didn't. I mean, I worked with one agent in particular. I've worked with a lot of different agents, and one in particular taught me a ton. I learned so much from him, and things that no other agent had told me in any of the previous transactions. And so, it was stuff like that. Just really wanting to do everything I could to help the client, but also help real estate agents with what I know about internet marketing and how to be a presence on the internet. And as I said earlier, when you just put up a pretty website. Right. It's got lovely pictures, and it's got a nice picture of you, and it might have a CMA offer, and it might have an MLS listing, but every agent has that. What makes that stand out? And quite frankly, as I said, it's just a pretty brochure. It's not an active business building tool. And so it's kind of like, and I get it, whether it's in real estate school or whether it's in, just your agency, you get your license, you get a website, and you network, and you do whatever. Right. But it needs to be well, if you've got, it doesn't need to be, but to me, if you're going to have a website, you might as well have it be something that can actively build your business.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's really important to make sure that I'm correct here, is that this does not preclude agents from having to drive traffic to their website.
No.
Okay, so agents still...
And I know that that in and of itself is a difficult thing.
Okay.
But one thing with that is that, agents have so much on their plate right now, so many different things of marketing. But if you use the lead beach system, and you know that your website is your core lead driver, then if you and all your follow-up is done there, then gives you a lot more time, because you're not dealing with follow-up, you're not dealing with other, well, I mean, you certainly want to have other methods of generating leads, but if you can know that your website is where it's at, really, as far as your marketing goes, then that gives you the freedom to have the time to focus on getting traffic to your website.
And it's also a great way, too, also for you to have some marketing hooks that you can go out there and advertise or start talking about to get people to go to your website.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just, whether you're at a networking meeting, whether you're at a cocktail party, just say, hey, if you want to learn how to sell faster and for more money, go check out this report on my website. It's free. Just, pop your name and email address. And yeah, it's a talking point. So, I mean, if somebody, and as I said, I'm pretty proud of the listing series with the videos. The videos are phenomenal. They're fun. They're informative. They say the stuff that agents don't like to say. And I'm in the videos, and I'm kind of the hard-nosed buyer that tells you what you need to hear, whether you want to hear it or not. And it, there really aren't things out there like that. So if people get exposed to that, they're going to tell their friends, hey, go get this series. Go check it out on so-and-so's website. And it becomes a talking point.
Right. Now, this is going to take a lot of work away from real estate agents in terms of the follow-up, and their pipelines are just going to fill up with clients. I mean, that is the whole point of this. But
that's the idea.
What is the time commitment from a real estate agent standpoint up front to bring this all up and running?
Well, it's maybe all told 6.5 minutes. I mean, I'm being silly, but basically it's by the system. So fill out your name and email and credit card information to do that. And then you're automatically sent an email that tells you what you need to do next. And all we need is your vitals. So your name, your website, your address, your, things like that. It's all very basic. Your email signature. So however you like your emails to always be signed. So, most people, what they do these days is they have kind of a tagline. They always, like you say, massive regards. Right. And then their name, and then under their name is all their contact info. Right. So that's this email signature. So we get all that. So that goes in each and every email that goes out in your name. And so literally it takes 3 or 4 minutes to fill out the form to give us the information we need, and then within 24 hours you have your system, and then it's a matter of setting it up, putting it on your website. Most people, it's very simple to do. A lot of websites are widget based, so anybody that's played around with their own website, can install this very easily. If you can't, we can try and help you. Most of the time, people do it themselves, or their tech person that they have access to in their office or agency can help. But it's a very simple.
This is great.
Simple thing, and so it's virtually no time for the agent. I mean, less than 10 minutes to get started,
and reasonably priced too, I might add as well. And I'm going to have all the information in the show notes for leadbeach.com. How did you come up with Lead Beach?
Lead Beach, it basically is two things. A, it's all about leads, and B, most of us love the beach and want to hang out at the beach and wish we could be at the beach instead of doing whatever we're doing. But then to take it a step further, it was kind of like, go hang out at Lead Beach where the leads come rolling in like the waves, and because they do, and that's to use kind of another analogy with the waves. You want your website and your lead generation to be like somebody starting on the top of a wave. Right. So you want to get them on your marketing wave, and then they have absolutely no choice but to ride it all the way into you, and to where they, where you're hanging out on the beach, so to speak.
But this is a great metaphor. I didn't quite catch that, Caroline. That's great.
Well, it's basically, it's like, I mean, I use the analogy because it's like surfing. Not everybody loves to surf, but I mean, surfing is fun. And once you're on the power of a wave, you have no choice but to keep riding it. And I'm not trying to use that in a negative way, that you have no choice. It's just get them on the top of your wave, and let the wave do the work for you, and it brings them into you. So the whole idea behind the entire follow-up series is to provide them with valuable content that makes them love you and makes you go, wow, this guy's helped me, this woman's helped me, with no strings attached. And I mean, who would you rather work with? Somebody that pitches to you all the time and tells you right on their website, I'm great, I'm really, I'm always there for my clients, I do this for my clients. It's a pitch fest. Who would you rather work with? Somebody that pitches to you all the time, or somebody that just genuinely gives you information that's going to help
providing
you with
great
your
value,
upcoming transaction?
Providing
anyway, so
value.
The idea is each email has kind of a very gentle, at the end, gentle call to action. It's not a, hey, this is why I'm great thing. It's if you've got any questions, love to help. If you want me to come out and give you some more pointers, just whatever. It's just very, very natural call to action at the end of each email. So the idea being, these people get on your marketing wave, get all these emails that they, to tell you too about the emails, they're pretty frequent up front when you're kind of a hot lead, and then they taper off a little bit so you don't become a pest. And then over time, they taper to once every 3 weeks. Great. So, and that goes on for as long as they're on board. There's always something they're going to get every 3 weeks from you. And but anyway, so the idea is that when they're ready, they're going to come to you. So they, in essence, raise their hand and go, hey, Chris, I'm ready. I've got all this great information. I know what I need to do. I've done what I need to do. Let's get going.
That is great.
And,
I love
so
that.
it just really,
I love that. Caroline, I want to switch gears a little bit because, I know a little bit about you, and you are obviously a very successful entrepreneur. What has been, and maybe starting this company or your other company, what has been one of your biggest challenges to launching a new product or launching a new company?
I think the biggest challenge for both the two major ones that I've done is always harder than you think it's going to be, but don't give up. And I saw a cartoon not long ago. It was a 2-panel cartoon, and it was like prisoners trying to dig their way out of something, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. They were two men digging through a tunnel, and what they were aiming for was a pot of gold or something along those lines. And one of them gets within inches and gives up and walks away, and the other one keeps going. And so the idea being, don't give up because you've put so much work into it. You've gotten so close. I mean, like with my boot camp business in Maine, I mean, I was nuts. Who's going to go to a boot camp and kill themselves outdoors year round when it,
doesn't sound attractive to
snow,
me.
Everything. And in a small town in Maine. I mean, so it's not like I was in a big city where there's lots of money, and I wasn't just asking them to pay me $29 a month like a gym. I mean, they were paying good money for this, and I was just there was a point where I was like, okay, maybe this isn't going to work. But then I thought, no, I'm not going to give up. But the other thing I did, and I kind of have done it in the process with building Lead Beach, is target your ideal client. Don't try to market to everybody. Don't try and be something you're not. And that's one thing that's a mistake I made with the boot camp early on. I was trying to sort of be appealing to everybody.
Right.
But quite frankly, I didn't want to be appealing for everybody. I wanted people who were willing to come out and work as hard as they could, whatever level that was. It didn't matter. Everybody could work out at their own level. But the same thing with Lead Beach. It's not just about finding agents. It's about finding agents that need this because they are super busy, and they need a steady influx of leads, but they're super busy. They don't have time to follow up with everybody. People fall through the cracks. It's about, you really need to, I mean, I may have already said this, that if you market to everybody, you're marketing to no one.
Exactly.
And that's another part with that sort of segue back into what I provide with Lead Beach is agents need to, and actually I'll point out I have the real estate business blueprint, which is a free report I have on leadbeach.com/blueprint. You can go pick it up. But in that, it really walks you through, how to design your business to be what you want it to be. And one of the big keys is defining your ideal client, and to again take it back to what Lead Beach systems provide, using the insider secrets of sell faster and for more money. Kind of everybody wants that information, but the reality is not everybody's going to do the work that is necessary to sell faster and for more. Not that it's a ton of work, but you do have to do some things. But so, most agents would rather work with somebody who's willing to do the work. Right. They don't want to have to work with somebody where they go, they're not going to do their house the way they need to. It's going to stay on the market for a long time, and I can't say anything because I'll lose the listing or I'll offend them or whatever. And so this is really about put this on your website, and it's going to appeal to the type of people you want to work with. Right. And when you're attracting the type of people you want to work with, I mean, it's the whole 80-20 rule. 80 or 20% of our profits come from. Am I saying I always
80% of our profits come from 20%? Yeah.
Yeah, 80% of the profits come from 20% of the work.
Right.
And also 20% of your clients are great to work with, and 80% of them are nightmares. But if you can switch that up a little bit, so you're getting more of the people you like to work with, and by whether it's the steps that they are asked to take in the top 3 secrets to buying your dream home. That's not just a report; it's got exercises in it, not hard ones, but things for them to think about. And so when clients and when prospects have done the work in both of those instances, the buyer side and the selling side, and they finally come to the agent, they're the agent's best dream come true because they've done the work, they're ready to go, and
plus they've already established this relationship. They feel like they've already got a relationship with you, which is great.
Right.
That's terrific.
And that's one thing that my as long as I could live, as long as I've been alive, passion has been writing, and I was a broadcasting major, so I know how to write in a conversational tone. I know how to write in a way that people think that you've just sat down and written them a personal email. So that's how these are all done.
That's great.
It's not stale. Let's be frank. A lot of people don't know how to write well. I mean, it's a struggle for them, or that it's written to be read, not written to be spoken.
Exactly.
And that makes a big difference in how it translates into somebody's head.
Well, that is very cool. Well, we're going to have in our show notes, we're going to have, tell everybody to go to leadbeach.com. We'll have all your contact information. We have time for one more question, Caroline, and I always love asking this question. We have a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. We have a lot of aspiring real estate agents and brokers here on watching the show right now. Give them one piece of advice based on your experience that they should be doing right now to get their business up and running.
one piece.
One piece.
Well, I mean, just do it. It's so much fun, and we're all, I think, born entrepreneurs and have it beaten out of us by society that we're, supposed to grow up and get a job and go to work for somebody else.
Right.
And it's so much fun to do your own thing. It's
really
so
is.
much more rewarding. And so, I mean, the one piece of advice is just sort of
do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I know that may be not what you wanted me to say.
No, that's great. I love it.
But it is, it's worth the hard work. It's worth the heartache. It's worth the late nights. It's worth it. It's worth the scared to death, because, I mean, just think back, if you haven't already started and you're still working for somebody else, or if just think about what it was like or what it is like to go into a job that, I mean, yes, there's a lot to be said for turning your brain off at 5 p.m. and you walk away from your job and you don't have to think about it until Monday morning or the next morning, whatever. But one thing that I will say, just sort of promoting the whole entrepreneur thing, somebody told me a story once about getting flack while they were on vacation, or they were in a hotel or resort area, and somebody, they were working on their computer, like out by the pool, and somebody said, "God, you can't let go, can you?" And the entrepreneur sitting there by the pool working on his laptop said, "No, I'm choosing to do this because I can be on vacation all the time." Because, not that every entrepreneur can be on vacation all the time, but the point is, it's a passion, and you have the freedom to go on vacation, but still work when you want to and when you need to. But it's a freedom. It's a amazing freedom.
Right.
And that's, again, to bring it back to Lead Beach, so many people get into, I mean, the reason you get into your own business is for the income and the freedom, and so rarely does that actually happen with real estate agents. And so Lead Beach hopefully will step in and make that a lot easier.
That sounds terrific. And Caroline, you are a living example of that entrepreneurship. So
Well,
thank you so much.
So much fun.
I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris.
All right, everybody, check out leadbeach.com. Caroline, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And we'll definitely stay in touch.
Super, thanks.
Take care.